Deuteronomy the fourth chapter.
For Deuteronomy the fourth chapter, Moshe let our people know in verse number 5. He said, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yah my Elohim commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom." So you want to show how bright you are, show how smart you are. Not talking the law, doing the law is showing your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation. How can we say we got understanding on the law when Yom Kippur comes? When brothers try to make a million, you say no. When brothers reach out to you, you say no. How can you say you have wisdom? How can you say you have understanding when we're not doing the law? We're not practicing what we teaching. You got to be about what you teaching. So everybody can talk, but what's the action? What's the action? But to do it goes back. It always goes back to humbling yourself.
That's right.
So you can't do the law if you're not humble. You cannot do the law if you're not humble. But this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nation which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great? Is it the Egyptians with the Mayat, the 42 negative confessions? Is it Islam? Is it Christianity? What nation is there who have an Elohim so nigh unto them? As Yah our Elohim is in all things that we call upon him for. Yeah, Yah, we want to know why slavery took place. Yeah, we want to know what's going to happen in the last day prophecy. Yeah, we want to know what to eat and what not to eat. Yah addresses everything. The Quran don't have no prophecies in it. No last day prophecies. The prophecies in the New Testament is false. All false. All false. See, we can call upon Yah and ask him for all things. How should I deal with my wife and dealing with marriage? How should we deal with children? How should we deal with the elders? Yahweh addresses all things. How should we deal if our house have mold in it?
That's right.
The other books don't deal with that. When we have mold in the scriptures, it's called the plague. We shut up that house. Nobody lived in that house. Nobody went in until the priest made sure that it was cleansed. Form of leprosy. Now we got people living in houses with mold, and they coming down with cancer, coming down with respiratory problems, because this land has no clue about Yah's law. But he covers everything. Mold, everything you want to think of, the book speaks on it. It speaks on it. So I said, what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law? Which I said before you, there is none. There is none. There's none in the Mayat that can even compare to Torah. None in the New Testament, none in the Quran. Bring out any other God and bring a book. Egyptologists, brother, they got a book called the Book of the Dead. I have the Book of the Dead. And it's a book for the dead. It's a book that gives you no life, no perspective of where you're going, no perspective of your future. All you're going to do is die, be entombed like the mummies, and go to this underworld. This other world. But Egyptians had gods for every day of the year. They had a god for every day of the year. But the Egyptians, they can't ask one of them gods, why are they suffering? Or why are they not in Egypt, and you got a mixed group of renegades in Egypt, a mingled people. They don't know the answers. The only place they can get the answers from is the Holy Scriptures. This is the only book that deals with all that. You want to know the history of the black African nations? It's in the Old Testament. Yahweh talks about the Assyrians, the ancient black Egyptians, the Ethiopians. He talks about the other nations and their relationships with our people. King Solomon dealt with these nations. So it's plain and it's simple. I can go on and on, but if we have any comments at all that anyone would like to make, certainly anything that I said, Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
I just want to speak on that fast real quick.
Yes.
That was covered so well already. I really don't even need to say anything, but a fool is known by the multitude of his words is contrary to the law. Now, when we talking about if you don't fast, you're breaking the law, right?
Right.
So, a sin is the transgression of a law.
That's right.
So if you cannot show where that law is,
And they can't.
then there's no sin.
And they can't do it.
If you don't fast.
And they can't do it.
In Isaiah 58:6, the Almighty
Oh, they messed it all
clearly
up.
states,
Oh, they messed it all up.
clearly states what the fast is that he's talking about. It ain't, he ain't saying push away that plate of food. He said push away that wickedness.
That's right.
Push away that pride. Push away that arrogance. Push away all that stuff that keep you from humbling yourself.
That's right.
And that's clear. And see, here's the thing that gets me. When we talk about the scriptures and we read, the leaders of our people called us to err. We as Israelites, we want to push that off on Christians and everything. They're not looking at themselves. You see, if we can't even come together on day and night, and you spoke about that. 12 o'clock midnight meaning middle of the night.
Thank you.
And you can't tell when a day is, when it's light. Then we need to go back to the book of Genesis and read.
Yes.
So when you have so-called teachers that's teaching something that's contrary to the Almighty Yah's law, my personal feeling on it, if there are any kind of teachers and let the shoe fit, man, wherever it lands, let that shoe fit. A lot of these people were taught under Elisha. And they had different doctrines, if you will. While he was alive, they agreed. Now that he's no longer with us, there's a difference, a huge difference. And you know what it always scriptures say? Pride always, destruction comes from pride. It comes from pride. That's that B word you were just talking about not too long ago. I'm under the impression that a lot of these leaders know, but if I've been taught something and I've been teaching it to a bunch of people for so long, and those people look up to me, I don't want those people to think that I'm just wrong because I taught them something wrong. So I'm going to stick to my guns even when I know what the book says. So it's that pride.
I'm gonna tell you something. What had happened, like I said, told the class, the teacher got up, the first teacher got up and taught on it. And I listened. But the funny thing is, he couldn't prove it by the law. He went to the testimony. And when the second teacher got up, he said, he know the law, it don't say that in the law. Then he said, but, and then he went to show what Moses did. And I said, wait a minute. What Moses did for our people got to do with what y'all said. And that's where they're going wrong at. That's where they're missing the mark. That's why the people is not being humble. Because they're not teaching them to humble. They're teaching them fast. But I've seen, but most of them, that one teacher from, I ain't going to say the place. Because the other teachers that came around and said, they know it don't say that. It say humble. There is a notch in that. There is a notch in that. So that's a start. That's a start. But anytime you say, but, oh, I got you. Got you, brother. Y'all don't speak like that. You got you. And like I said, it becomes a pride. Only because of pride, they don't want to admit, and y'all right. It ain't about y'all right. It's about Yahweh is right. It's about we right. Yahweh is right.
And, you know, a lot of our people, and I won't be derogatory and say that it's because they don't know how to read, because they do know how to read. But it becomes a position of whether you're taking what the Ashkenaz said, or whether you're taking what Yah said. And Israel that is sticking to the word of Yah. When you look up the definition of humble, it'll mix all those things together. Affliction, humble, it mixed a lot of different definitions together. Debates, bring yourself low, which is the same as debasing. So when you look at that and you want to justify what you're doing, although you know that Yah doesn't endorse that, he just goes along with it. Or if you are in earnest and turning from your sins after you call yourself fasting. But they find that word affliction to justify what they can't find out, what they can't see in the law, and their pride that they have to continue with the precepts that they have. All of that mixed together, you got confusion. And you got somebody that's just sticking to what they want to believe. Even though the law says, hey, there's no place in this for this. And when Yah says, this is the fast that I require for you to do, and you ignore that, that shows that you're a fool, that you're full of pride, full of arrogance, and there's no humbleness in you. No humbleness in you. Now, I am calling anybody, I just said exactly what they are.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Because you can't justify it.
Let me tell you what some of the statements one of the brothers made. He said, when they fasted in Babylon for 70 years, and one of the fasts they did was in the 7th month, and he pointed to the Yom Kippur. And that's not true. Because right in the book of Nehemiah, they did a fast, was not on Yom Kippur. It was on the 24th day of the 7th month. When Yom Kippur, and you won't find the word fast in dealing with Yom Kippur. You won't find it. You'll find the word humble. But they want to try to force this and run to the testimony. Testimonies are good, but one thing Brother Michael said the other day, the testimony is in the book of Leviticus, the 16th chapter. It tells you how they kept Yom Kippur. There's the testimony is right there along with the law. You don't need to wait on run to Nehemiah will deal with not even dealing with Day of Atonement, a day that wasn't even close to the 10th day of the 7th month, and try to make that Yom Kippur. No, absolutely. And y'all told them, and I told the brothers when I dealt with it. I said, what's the fast of the 4th month? What's the fast of the 5th month? What's the fast of the 10th month?
That's right.
Show me that in the law. Why do you think they can't do it? Because that was a custom of our people.
That's right.
The tradition of our people. That's not law. And you don't know the difference between law and custom. And these are teachers.
And everything that you're saying is absolutely correct. We fasted for everything, every type of calamity that came upon us. Why did we fast? Because we wanted Yah to forgive us and to hear our plea. And we did it for all occasions. If a king got murdered or got killed, we fasted. If we, like the message that was sent to Nineveh, if we heard a message that was coming from the prophet to wherever we was at, that he was going to do such stuff to us because of our disobedience, we fasted. Even the wicked fasted. Like I said yesterday, read, people. The wicked fasted. But did they change? No. Did Israel change? No.
And
My
they'll
goodness.
give you an example of how customs and traditions change over time. In the scriptures, when you read when a person died, you'll see where they fasted when they have funerals. Today, you see everybody eat though. They eat. After the funeral, they go to somebody's house and eat. Customs and traditions change. The law don't change. The law don't change. Y'all say, I change not. His law don't change. But custom and traditions do. You can't make a custom or tradition law. They're like that. Some people don't believe in eat dies. Because the angel that wrestled with Jacob said, touch the hollow of his thigh. So they say, oh, eat dies.
That's right.
Where's that law at? Show me that law. That's not a law. You can't make custom laws. But like we said, we didn't tell nobody they shouldn't fast, not to fast. Never said that from this podium, from any teacher. We just wanted the people to focus on what Yahweh required of you on that day. what he commanded of you on that day. And that was to humble yourselves. That's all. And if you was able to do that with your fast, that was good. That was good because you got the point.
Right.
You got the point. But a lot of them that fasted around this city didn't get the point.
No.
Because they tried to make amends. But you know what they did? They rejected.
Mm-hmm.
They rejected. Didn't even come outside, rejected me. And it was the holiest day of the year.
And the problem with that, then the Almighty knew it. If not so, he wouldn't have changed. Not changed, it's always been there, but he wouldn't have put it there. Because we concentrated on the fasting instead of obeying the Almighty's law. And anytime you go outside the Most High's law, you're going to err. I don't care how much you think you're right. That's why it's imperative to see what thus says Yah on everything that you do. Because everything that sounds good and is perpetrated by man, especially your leaders, it's not good for you because Yah didn't endorse it.
And as I said, I'm ready to. I'm still ready to meet with any elders and leaders just to try to mend fences. But some people don't want fences to be mended. And to me, that's not showing any type of humility at all. Because like I said, I always have my hand out. I'm not going to beg anybody. Let that be known. I done reached out to my brothers over in Lockland and sisters. And I done reached out to my brothers on California. And I know what I got in return. And it's the truth on a Shabbat day. I know what I got. And I know that people that tried to mend us together, I know what they did to them. And I know what they got. Came down on them for trying to bring people together. Some of our brothers just don't want to come together. And that's all.